The Great Kapok Tree by Lynn Cherry. Several foresters walked into the rainforest. Moments before, the forest had been alive with the sounds of squawking birds and howling monkeys. Now all was quiet as the creatures watched the men and women and wondered why they had come. The men and women stopped and pointed to the great Kapok tree. The foresters took the axes they carried and struck the trunk of the tree.
Whack, whack, whack.
The sounds of the blows rang through the forest. The wood of the tree was very hard.
Chop, chop, chop.
The men and women wiped off the sweat that ran down their faces and necks.
Whack, chop, whack, chop.
They sat down to rest at the foot of the great Kapok tree. Before they knew it, the heat and the hum of the forest had lulled them to sleep. The tree sloths began to move down the trunk of the big tree. Many boa constrictors lived in the Kapok tree. They slithered down its trunk to where the foresters were sleeping. They looked at the gash the axes had been made in the tree. Then the huge snakes slid very close to the men and women and hissed in their ears.
Senors, this tree is a tree of miracles. It is our home, where generations of our ancestors have lived. Do not chop it down.
Bees buzzed in the sleeping forester's ears.
Senors, our hide is in
A troop of monkeys scampered down from the canopy of the kapok tree. They chattered to the sleeping men and women.
Senors, we have seen the ways of men. You chop down one tree and then come back for another. The roots of these great trees will wither and die, and there will be nothing left to hold the earth in place. When the heavy rains come, the soil will be washed away, and the forest will become a desert.
A few toucans and macaws flew down from the canopy.
Senors, you must not cut down this tree. We have flown over the rainforest and seen what happens once you begin to chop down the trees. Many people settle on the land. They set fires to clear the underbrush, and soon the forest disappears. Where once there was life and beauty, only black and smoldering ruins remain.
The tree sloths were still plodding along. Just then, some bright and small tree frogs hopped along the edge of a leaf. In a squeaky voice, they piped in the forester's ears.
Senors, a ruined rainforest means ruined lives, many ruined lives. You will leave many of us homeless if you chop down this great kapok tree.
Several jaguars had been sleeping along a branch in the middle of the tree. Because their spotted coats blended into the dappled light and shadows of the understory, no one had noticed them. Now they jumped down and padded silently over to the sleeping foresters. They growled in their ears.
Senors, the kapok tree is home to many birds and animals. If you cut it down, where will we find our dinner?
The tree sloths were nearing the kapok tree. Tree porcupines swung down from branch to branch. They whispered to the men and women,
Senors, do you know that we animals and humans need in order to live? Oxygen. And senors, do you know what trees produce? Oxygen. If you cut down the forest, you destroy them, which gives us all life.
Several anteaters climbed down the kapok tree with their young clinging to their backs. The anteaters said to the sleeping men and women,
Senors, you are chopping down this tree with no thought for the future. And surely you know that what happens tomorrow depends upon what you do today. The big man tells you to chop down a beautiful tree. How does one not think of his own children, who tomorrow must live in a world without trees?
Sloths had begun climbing down from the canopy when the foresters first appeared. Only now did they reach the ground, plodding ever so slowly over to the sleeping men and women. They spoke in their deep and lazy voices.
Senors, how much is beauty worth? Can you live without it? If you destroy the beauty of the rainforest, on what would you feast your eyes?
Many children from the Yanomamo tribe who lived in the rainforest knelt over to the sleeping foresters. They murmured in their ears,
Senors, when you awake, please look upon all of us with new eyes. And
children and all around them staring at the creatures who depended upon this great kapok tree. What wondrous and rare animals they were. The men and women looked up about and saw the sun streaming through the canopy. Spots of bright lights glowed like jewels amidst the dark green forest. Strange and beautiful plants seemed to dangle in the air, suspended from the great kapok tree. The foresters smelled the fragrant perfume of the flowers. They felt steamy mist rising from the forest floor. But they heard no sound, for the creatures were strangely silent. The men and women stood and picked up their axes. They swung back their arms as though to strike the tree, and suddenly they stopped. They turned, and they looked at the animals and the children. They hesitated. Then they dropped their axes and walked out of the rainforest.